apartment. Hello everyone. I was gonna make this video originally be one really long video, but there's so much that I want to cover and so much that I want to talk about that I decided to split it up. So this is gonna be part 1 of 2 of videos about moving during a global pandemic. Pretty much every aspect of what's happening during moving is being affected by the fact that there are restrictions placed on people's activities and kind of how this whole process works. So I felt like it would be helpful to a lot of people to make a video kind of documenting the process and talking about what my experience has been getting ready to move apartments in a pretty big city in Portland, Oregon during this pandemic. The first thing I want to talk about is why I am moving. So this is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. I share it with one of their roommates. This is my first real apartment, like living outside of my parents' house and outside of a dorm. I feel like I have grown so much here and like become an adult here, and it's really been a good place to kind of grow up a little bit. Joey, come here. And the apartment that I'm moving into is actually a studio apartment. As of right now, I have never lived entirely on my own, and I decided that this is gonna be the best time to do it. The pandemic and the lockdown kind of implications did change pricing a lot. So usually it would be incredibly expensive to live in a studio apartment in a big city that would have all the amenities that I was looking for / that I found. Prices have been cut significantly by the fact that there's this pandemic going on. So the apartment that I'm moving into, I'm getting at a good percentage lower than what it would have cost had we not had these other circumstances going on. Basically, the combination of the fact that the pricing made sense right now, combined with the fact that I feel like if I don't do it now, I never will. I just kind of felt like this is the time to do it. I'm 21, I'm in the middle of school, I'm gonna be in school for a while longer, I have a good job, I have a steady job, like everything is just kind of aligning to the point where I felt like if I didn't do it now, I never would. That was a really long-winded way to say pricing plus I just wanted to do it at some point in my life is why I'm moving into a studio from a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. So there were some things that were really important to me in finding a new apartment, and these were things that I was putting in like all my search, like every time I searched for apartments on different websites or whatever, I would put these in as filters because they were things that were non-negotiable to me. The first one was a dishwasher. I'm pretty good with chores. I don't mind vacuuming, I don't mind dusting, I don't mind doing laundry, but I hate dishes. And I knew that, especially living with myself, if no one else is there to like motivate me to clean up, this sounds so stupid, but if I'm not like cleaning up for anybody else, I just knew that I was not going to be able to find the motivation within myself to like hand wash dishes every single day. I just couldn't do it. The apartment that I ended up signing a lease for, it has like a half-size dishwasher. So it is a dishwasher, but it's smaller, and I think it will still force me to do some dishes by hand. That's okay. I just knew that I needed it to like feel sane. The second thing was a balcony. So this is something that I really wanted when I found this apartment. This apartment does not have any balcony or like patio or anything like that. This is something that I was able to find in the studio that I signed a lease for. It is a tiny balcony. It's so small that I can't leave anything out there. Like the door opens up onto the balcony and there's basically no space, but that's okay. I literally just wanted to be able to go out and stand in open, fresh air while I was still in my apartment, so I'm really happy with it. Any apartment that came with a balcony that was bigger than this was gonna cost a lot more, so the trade-off, I'm fine with it. The other thing kind of sounds like a no-brainer, I think, but I wanted to be able to do laundry within my building or within my apartments. I didn't want to have to deal with a laundromat or, you know, taking my laundry outside of my building. So this new apartment does have a full-size washer and dryer that's stacked on top of each other that are just like in a little closet in my studio, which is beyond what I even wanted. The fourth and probably most important thing, honestly, that I was looking for in an apartment was distance to school / work. So I go to Portland State University and I also work at Portland State University. Currently, I'm doing classes and working all from home, so it doesn't really matter how far I am from campus. But obviously this lockdown won't last forever. I'm signing a 15-month lease, so I knew that it was important to me to be able to get to campus in a somewhat speedy manner. Parking on campus is ridiculous, so I don't really ever drive to campus. I always try to take public transportation, and currently I'm about a 3-block walk from the bus stop that takes me to school, and then it's about a 30-minute bus ride right onto campus. The new apartment that I'm in, it's going to be about like a 10-minute extra onto my commute. However, the bus stop is directly outside of the building. So I'll be able to literally walk outside the front door and hop on the bus in the morning, not have to add in any extra travel time or anything like that. The college campus is in downtown Portland. So the closer you get into downtown, as with any major city, you do start paying a lot more. So I knew that the further out that I went, the further out that I could go, the more I would get for less money. And that's definitely something that played into this factor, was kind of figuring out what was more important to me. Did I want to pay a little bit more to be closer, or did I want to pay a little less and deal with a much longer commute time once things went back to semi-normal? I used a combination of apartments.com and Zillow. So those two websites, honestly, not a super huge fan of either of them. I feel like they could both be laid out a lot better and be organized a lot better. But it was a really good way to kind of get my bearings and see what prices were sort of set at, kind of what I could reasonably expect from the area that I was looking at. In terms of how the pandemic affected the pricing of the apartment, I'm gonna be super transparent here with what I'm ending up paying. So originally the studio that I was going to be moving in, that I am going to be moving in, was supposed to be about $1,300. And I knew that that was at the very, very top of my price range of what I could afford. I was ideally wanting to pay $1,250 or less. I did end up getting this place for $1,149 a month. It is just over 300 square feet, so I know that might sound kind of insane still to be paying over $1,100 a month for a studio that is still pretty small. But for me and for all the amenities that it comes with, it just made the most sense of everywhere that I was looking at. And it was actually one of the most affordable options that I ended up finding. Previously, had it been $1,300, I probably wouldn't have taken it because it was so small and because that was at the very, very top of my price range. So when I first saw this apartment, I had reached out to the leasing manager to see if I could schedule a tour or find out more information about the apartment. And she let me know at that point that essentially the building had only opened up back on Valentine's Day, back in February. Also, I'm filming this at the end of May, but I signed everything for this apartment end of April. So it had only been open for a couple months, and then obviously the pandemic hit in March. So there were, I believe she said 15 apartments out of like 180 or 200 that had been filled. So they were really scrambling for people to try and get into the building. And the whole pandemic basically slowed down everybody moving. Nobody wants to move during this whole mess. She was offering to knock off essentially $100 and put it at $1,149 a month. They also had a leasing special going on where you could choose one of two things. You could either get a $1,000 Visa gift card at move-in, or you could get a $500 Visa gift card plus a brand new free mattress. I love my mattress, it's great, so I chose to go with the $1,000 gift card. So I am essentially going to be having my first month of rent paid for by that payment from them. What's really interesting to me is that when I first heard that deal, it sounded too good to be true, like it just sounded incredible. Since I signed the lease and since I agreed to accept that deal and those perks, they've actually sweetened it further, and they're offering to, I think, knock 50% off your first 6 months of rent. I mean, it's insane. Places are scrambling right now to get people into empty units. Even if your apartment complex isn't new, landlords are kind of desperate and prices are just freaking plummeting right now. Something I was noticing too is as I was doing this apartment search over the course of probably about a month, I would see the same complexes over and over again, and their prices would still be dropping incrementally. And I think that this trend is going to continue for a while as we see what's happening with the economy with this pandemic. So it will be a pain in your butt to move, especially without a lot of moving companies being able to help you and things like that. But if you can do it, I recommend it because you're able to lock in that discounted pricing for longer term. When I found this apartment that I did sign a lease for and that I am moving into, I expected it to just be a thing of I have to see the floor plan on the website, I have to see a 3D tour on the website, not able to see it in person. I was able to see it in person via a self-guided tour. It was a really weird experience because in the past when I've toured apartments, I've always been with the staff there. They've been telling me different things about the apartment, about the building, etc., etc. So it was definitely different to go in self-guided completely and just explore it on my own. That was something that was beneficial to me because there wasn't someone there to kind of influence my decision making. Not saying that all, you know, landlords or property managers are pushy or anything like that, but they definitely know how to persuade you to lock in a price or lock in a deal at the time. So it was nice to be able to go in on my own time, spend as long as I wanted, taking measurements, looking at things, and deciding for myself what was right for me. So less than 24 hours after I had that self-guided tour of this apartment, I said, yes, I'm gonna lock it in because I was honestly afraid that they were gonna get rid of the deals and the pricing that they were offering me, even though if I waited a little longer, they probably would have sweetened it even more. So I'm going into this accepting the fact that I'm not gonna be able to get help from my friends or from other people or from hiring a mover. I'm just making the executive decision to essentially handle my own shit. This is going to be a challenge because in the apartment that I'm currently in, I'm on the second floor and it is a walk-up. So when I was moving in here, I did have to get the help of some big burly guy friends that I have who were able to help me move the big stuff. My parents, you know, I don't want to like, they're like older, I don't want to like put them through carrying a freaking bed frame, you know, up and down 2 flights of stairs. And it's definitely going to be a physical challenge because I'm 5'5" and there's not that much there. But I decided it was worth it for me to, again, go ahead with this because of basically every other aspect of moving. The fact that I'm getting this price cut and everything like that was worth it for me personally, even though I know that I'm going to have to do a lot more work physically to make it all go smoothly. I'm gonna insert kind of a sneak peek of what the studio was like and what it was like to tour it preemptively by myself, well, not by myself, with my mom. And then I'm also gonna show you guys in this video some moving tips and tricks. Yep. So I just got off the phone with this leasing manager and she let me know that I could come see this apartment in like a self-guided tour because of COVID. So let's go see what my new apartment might look like.
Am I house, honey?
Are you Ella?
Yes.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Oh my God. This is so cute. Wow.
You can't
Push down on what?
handle.
Oh.
You might need a folding chair.
7.
So would you want to have it right up?
This is the sleeping area. If I do a living area over here, I could put like a TV on this wall and then have like a little like couch or love seat right here.
Oh, that's thinking outside.
That kind of blocks it off. I wouldn't have room for a table. But if I put a curtain hanging from the ceiling up here, kind of block this off a little bit. We have a closet right here. This is the biggest closet in the whole section. It's both sides. And then if you walk further, you have the bathroom over here, huge mirror, storage down here, toilet, more storage, shower and bath. Over here is the kitchen area. We've got a lot of cabinetry all the way over. The fridge. It's not bad. Nice stove, microwave, everything like that. Sink, dish disposal. And then we've got this little living area with a big window. This goes out from the kitchen. And then we've got this other little like nook here. That's the tiny closet. And then here we have the big washer and dryer that are stacked on top of each other, which is super nice. Over here we've got the AC and the heating unit. And then over here we've got the balcony, which goes right outside. And that is the whole spiel. This is the little courtyard down the hallway. You can see it's closed right now, but this is the gym. No, look, this is where there's dog treats. Right there. It's dog biscuits. This is like enclosed for animals, I'm pretty sure. This is enclosed for dogs to go run around. Yeah, called the yard. So this is the first piece of furniture that I'm gonna be moving to my like little interim storage space between this apartment and the next apartment. I have a little storage kind of area that I can use at my parents' house. So this is the first piece that I'm taking because I'm pretty sure that it's not going to fit in my new place. I'm gonna be keeping it there in that little storage spot longer term. It's also very cocoon-like. This is something that I spent many a day and night in the dorm in a little egg because it was my only place of solace in the cruel, cruel world. Yeah, let's disassemble it. Hey, yeah, I love myself and I don't need anybody else. All right. Hey. This is a stupid amount of Polaroids. No one needs this many Polaroids. A project that I knew I wanted to accomplish while I was moving was labeling all of my Polaroids. I have a ton of them and they actually make up an entire wall in this apartment. Maybe this is totally irrational, but I have this fear of getting old and having all of these old photos of my friends and not remembering who anybody is. So I decided that I wanted to label them with names and dates before old lady brain kicks in, probably when I'm 25. This is one of those projects that's easiest while you're moving because you're having to touch all the pictures anyways, so you might as well do something productive with them now while they aren't stuck to a wall. So the third and final moving project thing I wanted to show you guys was the method that I've always used to move my clothes. If you have a bunch of things hanging in your closet, this is a way easier way to move it than packing and unpacking it all in boxes or a suitcase. And all you want to do is pull a garbage bag around everything while it's on the hangers. And then you can just load it in your car like that. And as soon as you get to the new place, you can just hang them up and pull the bags off. It keeps your clothes protected and makes everything go so much faster. Look at that. Yeah. And then what you can do is you just carry it out like that. It's fine. So thank you guys so much for watching this part 1 into my foray of moving during a global crisis. Make sure you subscribe to see part 2 of this video, which will be a little more exciting, actually showing the action of moving into my new space and saying goodbye to this space. And I'll see you guys in part 2. Bye.